to breathe. Kind of surrendering into our mat here. With each inhale, think of creating a little bit more length and opening up for your lungs a little bit deeper. Maybe press each of the tips of your fingers onto the mat. Pressing the top of your toes onto the mat. Finding some grounding here. Walk your hands over to the left side, placing the right hand on top of the left. Good. Then walking your hands over to the right side, place the left hand on top of your right. Walk your hands back toward the center. Shift your weight forward into a tabletop position, so lining up your knees under your hips and your wrists below your shoulders. We'll begin with a few cat-cows here. Dropping your belly, inhale, look up toward the ceiling. On the exhale, pull your navel to your spine so you're rounding through your back. Inhale, lift your chest, look up. Exhale, navel to spine. You can move with your own breath at your own pace here. Finding a little bit of movement. Noticing any tightness in your body. Seeing if you can bring energy to those areas and relax and release them. To find a little more space, a little more depth. On your next exhale, begin to rock forward and back so that you're really rounding through your spine. Maybe even drop your hips all the way toward your heels, rolling forward and back. Then walk your fingers about 6 inches in front of you, sink back into your child's pose. Then shift forward all the way down until you lower your hips to the mat and begin to rock them side to side. Looking over your opposite shoulder, finding some length through your sides. Then drop your hips over to the right side, sinking back toward your heels. Shift over to the left, and on the inhale, drop your hips and look up toward the ceiling. And we're making big figure 8 circles here with our hips. And then take those circles in reverse. Find a little more space as you warm up through your core. Let's take 2 more rotations. Back through our tabletop position. Again, realigning our wrists under our shoulders and our knees below our hips. We're going to straighten through the left leg, so we press the tip of our toes onto the edge of the mat and just sink our weight back so we stretch through our left calf. Then lifting your left leg, reach forward the right arm. See if you can find your balance here. Taking a deep inhale. And on the exhale, bring your right knee, left elbow together beneath you. Inhale, reach, lengthen. Exhale, crunch. Inhale, reach. Exhale, crunch. Let's take 2 more breaths here. On the last one, bend the left knee, reach back with your right hand, catch your foot or ankle, kicking that foot into your hand and lift your chest. And then release back through your tabletop position. We'll switch sides, straightening the right leg, pressing the tip of your toes onto the edge of the mat. Then lifting the right leg, reaching forward with the left arm, taking an inhale. On the exhale, bring your knee and elbow together beneath you. Inhale, reach and lengthen. Exhale, crunch. Inhale, reach. Exhale, crunch. 2 more breaths. And then bend the right knee, reach back with your left hand, catch your foot or ankle, kicking that foot into your hand to lift your chest. Go ahead and release back to your tabletop position. We're going to tuck our toes, lift our hips, pressing our hips toward the ceiling for downward dog. You can bend one near the other, finding some space to stretch and lengthen through your body. Opening up through your hamstrings, lengthening your spine. Maybe even sink your heels toward the ground if you have any more space. And step your feet a little bit wider so they come to the edges of your mat. Walk your hands back toward your feet, bend your knees if you need to. You're going to grab your elbows and just gently rock side to side. Slowly, gradually, straightening through your legs, lengthening your spine and folding forward. Back to neutral, releasing your hands to the ground. Slowly roll all the way up to standing. Take an inhale, reach your arms all the way up toward the ceiling. Reach as high as you can, lengthening through your spine, then begin to twist side to side. Reaching a little bit higher, adding length to the sides of your body. Come back through the center, pressing our palms to heart center, dropping them down to heart center. We're going to bring our feet to hips width apart. Taking an inhale, breathing in through our nose. Exhaling through our mouths. And lowering our hands to our sides for Tadasana, our mountain pose. Our feet are hips width apart. We're going to play with shifting our balance forward and back, lifting our heels, pressing on the tips of our toes, and then dropping our heels, and then lifting our toes, and just playing with the weight of our body over our feet. So we're lifting our toes, and then lifting our heels, and shifting forward and back. Good, finding our balance here. Press onto your tips of your toes, see if you can hold that balance. Reach your arms all the way up toward the ceiling, taking an inhale. On the exhale, fold forward, stay on the tip of toes, stay on your tippy toes, and stop about halfway. Reaching your arms forward, finding your balance here. Take another breath, and then on the exhale, fold all the way down, reaching toward your toes, sinking your heels back to the ground. We're going to bend our knees and then wrap our arms underneath our thighs, bringing our hands in front of our shins, and then folding forward. Gradually begin to straighten through your legs. See if you can find any more depth, maybe even slide your hands down toward your ankles. And then release, bring your hands back to the mat, walk your hands to the front, come right back into your downward dog. On the inhale, lift the right leg all the way up toward the ceiling for three-legged dog. Bend your knee to open up through your hip, drawing circles on the ceiling with the right knee. And then take those circles in reverse. Big open hip circles here. And inhale, send that right leg all the way back up toward the ceiling. Exhale, stepping forward between your hands, lower outer back, left knee onto the mat. And begin to bend and straighten through the front leg. Bending through the front knee. On the inhale, reaching our arms all the way up toward the ceiling. Finding some space here to open up through your spine. Then inhale, open your arms out wide to the sides. On the exhale, begin to sweep them forward. Inhale, reach all the way back up. Wide out to the side. On the exhale, folding forward again. Taking one last inhale, reaching our arms all the way up. Opening out wide, and then reaching back toward the front. All the way back up toward the ceiling. Reach your fingers a little bit higher. This time, interlace your palms. Interlace your fingers and flip your palms up toward the ceiling. And then on the exhale, place your hands on the mat. Straightening through the front leg for your half split. You can point and flex that right foot a few times. Be rocking your toes side to side. Finding a little more space, maybe folding forward over that right leg. And bend back to that front knee. Heel toe your foot to the edge of the mat. Open up through your hip. Maybe use your right hand to press the right knee away from you as you look up over the right shoulder. And if you want to sink a little bit lower into this, maybe come down with that left forearm. See if you've got any more space. Twist and look up toward the ceiling. Maybe even reach back with that right hand, see if you can catch your left foot, picking that foot into your hand to lift your chest. Twisting and looking up toward the ceiling. And then release, bring your hands back to the mat, stepping back into your plank. We'll hold our plank for a few breaths here. Try dropping your heels side to side. Keeping your core nice and tight, not letting your hips drop or pressing up toward the ceiling. Coming back for neutral, hug our elbows into our sides for chaturanga, bottom of push-up. Inhale, lifting your chest for upward dog. And on the exhale, lifting your hips, pressing back to downward dog. On the inhale, lift the left leg all the way up, three-legged dog. Bending through your knee to open up through your hip, draw a few circles on the ceiling with that left knee. And then take those circles in reverse. Inhaling, sending that left leg all the way up. On the exhale, step forward between your hands. Flatten or lower through that back knee. And we'll begin to bend and straighten through the front leg. Bending and straightening. Getting the blood flowing so you can stretch deeper. Finish with our left knee bent. Inhale, reaching our arms all the way up toward the ceiling. And sweeping your arms out wide, opening your chest a little bit further, then on the exhale, folding forward, sweeping your arms along the ground. Inhale, reach all the way up. Open them wide, big, sweeping reach forward. Inhale up. Out to the side, sweeping interlacing our fingers again, flipping our palms, finding a little more space here. And then release your hands back to the mat, straightening the left leg for half split. Here you can point or flex your left foot a few times. You'll be rocking your toes side to side. Gradually folding forward over the left leg. And then bending back through your left knee, we'll heel toe our foot to the edge of the mat. Bringing your hands under the inside of that left leg, sinking out to the edge of your foot, the left foot. Maybe use your left hand to press that left knee away from you as you look over the left shoulder. If you want to go a little bit deeper, drop your right forearm to the mat, and then twist and look up over the left shoulder. Take it a little bit deeper if you can. Take the left hand, bend the right knee, reach back and see if you can find your foot, and then twist to look over the left shoulder. Okay. And then release. Bring your hands back to the mat, stepping back again into your plank. Again, we're going to hold our plank. Shift our heels over to the right side, reaching up with the left arm. This is your side plank. You can drop one knee to the mat if you need to take some of the weight out of that opposite arm. And then we're going to alternate to the opposite side. So if you're dropping to one knee, it will look like this. Otherwise, you're staying here in your side plank, and we're just going to shift over. Side plank to side plank. Let's do one more on each side. Let's come back into our plank. Lower our elbows through chaturanga, bottom of a push-up. Inhaling, lifting your chest, upward dog. And on the exhale, again, lifting, pressing back to downward dog. And taking just a few breaths here, maybe sink a little bit deeper into your downward dog, dropping your heels toward the mat, lengthening through your spine, straightening through your legs. Okay. On the inhale, lift the right leg all the way up, three-legged dog. On the exhale, stepping forward between your hands. Flattening through your back heel for warrior one on the inhale as you reach your arms all the way up toward the ceiling. And on the exhale, warrior two, bringing your arms out to the sides. Good, flipping the right palm, reach forward, up and back for reverse warrior, lengthening through the right side. And then gradually straightening through the right leg for reverse triangle. Good, cartwheel that right arm forward, reach as far as you can. Come down to your shin or the mat. For triangle, reaching up with that left arm and looking over the left shoulder. Good. Drop your left hand to the mat, step back into your plank. Hug your elbows into your sides for chaturanga, bottom of a push-up. Inhaling, lifting your chest for upward dog. And on the exhale, lifting your hips, pressing back into your downward dog. Switching to the opposite side, we'll inhale, lift the left leg all the way up, three-legged dog. On the exhale, step forward between your hands, flattening through your back heel for warrior one on the inhale. 2 on the exhale, bringing your arms out to the sides. Then flipping your left palm, reach forward, up and back for reverse warrior, lengthening through the left side. Gradually straightening to the left leg for reverse triangle. Then cartwheel your left arm forward, reaching as far as you can, maybe all the way down to your shin or the mat for triangle. Looking up over the right shoulder. Good. Dropping your right hand to the mat, we'll step back into our plank. Again, hugging our elbows into our sides for chaturanga, bottom of push-up. Inhale, lifting your chest for upward dog, and on the exhale, pressing back into downward dog. So we're going to repeat that sequence 2 more times on each side. This time we're just going to move through each posture with 1 breath. So a little bit less time in each hold. So when you're ready on the inhale, reach the right leg all the way up toward the ceiling. Exhale, step forward between your hands for warrior 1 on the inhale. Warrior 2 on the exhale. Then flipping that right palm, reach forward, up and back, reverse warrior. Straightening to the front leg. And then coming all the way forward into triangle. Left hand comes down, stepping back into your plank, chaturanga, vinyasa. Right back to downward dog. Switching to the opposite side, inhale, lift the left leg all the way up. Exhale, step forward between your hands, flatten to the back heel for warrior 1 on the inhale. And warrior 2 on the exhale. Flipping the left palm, reach forward, up and back, lengthening to the left side, reverse warrior. And then shifting right into reverse triangle. Cartwheel that left arm forward, coming into triangle. And then dropping the right hand to the mat, we'll step back into our plank, flowing through 1 vinyasa here, right back to downward dog. Inhale, right leg lifts. Exhale, step forward. Flattening the back heel, warrior 1. Warrior 2 on the exhale. Flipping the right palm, reverse warrior. Straightening the front leg, reverse triangle. And then cartwheeling that right arm forward for triangle. Left hand comes down for vinyasa. Inhale, lifting your chest. Exhale, back to downward dog. Right into the last side. Inhale, lift the left leg all the way up. Exhale, step forward, flatten to the back heel, warrior 1. And warrior 2 on the exhale. Flipping the left palm, reverse warrior. Reverse triangle. And then triangle on the left. Good. Right hand comes down, vinyasa. Inhale, lifting your chest. Exhale, right back to downward dog. We're going to bring our feet to hips width apart. And you're going to bend through your elbows so you come into your dolphin pose. So elbows come onto the mat. Forearms are still shoulder width apart. Begin to walk your toes forward. See if you can find any more space here. And then bend through your knees and straighten through your arms so you shift back into a bear pose. Good. And straighten through your legs, step your feet back a little bit if you have space. Coming right back into your downward dog. On the inhale, lift the right leg all the way up, 3-legged dog. Bend through your knee and look under the left arm and see if you can see your foot. And then maybe gradually, slowly lower into wild thing, pressing your hips up toward the ceiling.
into your three-legged dog. Then sweep it underneath you and out to the left side, reaching up with the left arm for fallen triangle. Good. Left hand comes down. Inhale, lift the right leg all the way up. On the exhale, step forward between your hands, keeping your heel lifted for a high lunge. We'll inhale, reach your arms up. Good. Left hand drops, reaching high with the right, twisting and looking over the right shoulder. Good. We're going to drop our left heel onto the mat, sweep the right leg back, and come right into a side tree. If that's not happening, this can just be a side plank, or you can modify by dropping the bottom knee. Good. Then drop your right hand to the mat, step back into your plank, hugging your elbows into your sides for chaturanga. Inhale, lifting your chest, upward dog, and on the exhale, lifting your hips, pressing back to downward dog. On the inhale, lift the left leg all the way up, three-legged dog. Bend to the left knee, look under the right arm and see if you can find your foot. Slowly lowering down into wild thing, pressing your hips high. Good. Then bring the left hand down, inhale, lift the left leg all the way back up. Sweep it underneath you and out to the right side for fallen triangle, reaching up with the right arm. Good. Bring the right hand down. We're going to inhale, lift that left leg all the way back up. Exhale, step forward between your hands, keeping that right heel lifted. Inhale, reach your arms up toward the ceiling. Bring the right hand down to the mat, twisting and looking up over the left shoulder. Good. Drop your right heel to the mat, stepping back with the left foot, coming right into your side tree. Or this can be side plank, or this can be modified side plank. So we've got a few options here. Good. Wherever you're at, come back onto your mat in your plank, hug your elbows into your sides for chaturanga. Inhale, lifting your chest for upward dog, and on the exhale, right back to downward dog. So let's try that again on each side. Inhale, reach the right leg all the way up, three-legged dog. Bend in the knee, dropping over into wild thing. Inhale, press your hips high. Then flipping all the way back over into your three-legged dog, sweep the right leg underneath you out to the left side for fallen triangle. Left hand comes down, inhale, reach the right leg all the way up. Exhale, step forward between your hands, high lunge. Inhale, reach your arms up. And on the exhale, drop the left hand, twist. Inhale to open up through your chest, reaching up toward the ceiling. And then stepping right back into your side plank variation, whichever you choose. Right hand comes down, back into your plank, chaturanga. Inhale, lift your chest, right back to downward dog. Let's switch to the opposite side. Left leg, inhale all the way up. Bending to the knee, wild thing. Inhale, lift your hips up all the way toward the ceiling. And inhale, lift the left leg up. Exhale, sweep it underneath you, fallen triangle. Okay. Right hand down, inhale, lift the left leg all the way up. Stepping forward, between your hands. Right heel stays lifted, inhale, reach your arms up. Then lowering the right hand to the mat as we twist and look up over the left shoulder. And then shifting right into that plank variation. and vinyasa. So we're going to repeat that one more time, moving with our breath here, just pausing in each pose for one breath. So when we begin, inhale, lift the right leg all the way up, bend the knee, dropping back into our wild thing. Inhale, press our hips high. Flipping all the way back over, back into our three-legged dog. Sweeping that right leg underneath us, fallen triangle. Left hand comes down, right leg inhale, reaching up high. Exhale, step forward between the hands, high lunge, inhale, reaching our arms up. Left hand drops, and then right into our plank variation, side plank variation. Good. And back to our vinyasa. Inhale, chest lifts. Exhale, back to downward dog. Left side, left leg, inhale, bending the knee, wild thing, pressing our hips high. Inhale, three-legged dog. Exhale, fallen triangle. Inhale, left leg high. Exhale, step forward, high lunge. Inhale, reaching our arms up. Exhale, dropping the right. Inhale, twist. And then shifting right over into our side plank variation. Left hand comes down, flowing through our vinyasa. We're going to sink our hips back into a child's pose. It's time walking our fingers together, pressing our palms together. We'll bend our elbows to bring our thumbs toward the back of our neck. And then release. Hands on the mat, tuck your toes, lift your hips right back into downward dog. Inhale, reach the right leg all the way toward the ceiling, sweeping the right leg forward. We'll come into our pigeon on the right. So make any adjustments you need to here to find a comfortable position that you're also getting a stretch in. Ideally, the top of your right shin will be parallel with the front of the mat. You can make any adjustments you need to. But if you begin to roll out on that left thigh, pull that right leg in a little bit more, so you find a spot where you're getting a stretch by keeping that alignment. You'll inhale, lift your chest, look up toward the ceiling. Exhale, folding forward over the right leg. And if you find that that right leg starts sliding in, maybe trap that foot with your left elbow to keep it in the place that you want it to be so you get the ultimate stretch. Inhale, lifting your chest. Let's try adding in a twist. We'll reach up toward the ceiling with the left arm. On the exhale, sweeping it under the right, bringing our left shoulder down toward the mat. Maybe even reaching forward with the right arm. And then release, lifting your chest. Bend your left knee, reach back with your left hand, see if you can catch your foot or ankle, maybe hugging that foot with your elbow. You can try mermaid, reaching up and over, looking up toward the ceiling. Good. And then release, bring your hands back to the mat. Stepping back into your plank, hug your elbows into your sides, chaturanga, bhakranga push-up. Inhale, lifting your chest for upward dog, and on the exhale, pressing back to downward dog. On the inhale, we'll lift the left leg all the way up, three-legged dog, sweeping that left leg forward into pigeon on the left. Again, finding your pigeon alignment that works best for you. You want the front of that shin, ideally parallel with the front of the mat, without rolling out that right thigh. Find a spot that works for you, maybe even pinching that left foot. Inhale, lengthen your spine. Exhale, fold to really open up through your IT band on the left. Inhale, lifting your chest, reaching up toward the ceiling with the right arm. The exhale, sweeping it under the left, maybe adding in a twist. Trying to bring our right shoulder toward the mat, reaching forward with the left arm. And then release, lifting your chest. We're going to bend through the right knee. Reach back with the right hand so we can catch our foot or our ankle. Pulling that heel toward your hips. Maybe catching it with your elbow. You can try mermaid on this side. And then release, bringing your hands to the mat. We'll step back into our plank, hugging our elbows into our sides, chaturanga. Inhale, lifting your chest, upward dog. Exhale, lifting your hips, pressing back to downward dog. If you can, try staying on the top of your feet for just a moment here. So you stretch through the top of your feet. You can bend your knees if you need to. Stretching here at the top of our and then roll over your toes right into your downward dog. If that didn't quite work, you can just step back into your downward dog. Take a big step forward with the right foot, stepping between your hands. We'll pivot over to the left side so we open up through our hips. We're going to bring our left hand below our forehead on the inhale. We're reaching up with the right arm, so we're twisting and looking up toward the ceiling. Maybe even bring the right arm behind your back and catch your left thigh. And then release, switching sides, bring the right hand down, reaching up with the left, twisting and looking up toward the ceiling. And then bringing the left arm behind your back so you can catch the right thigh. And then release. Walk your hands over to the right side and fold over that right leg. And then walk your hands over to the left side and fold over that leg. Coming back through the center, walk your hands forward. Keep your hips in line with your ankles. Inhale, lift your chest. Exhale, fold, bringing your chest toward the ground. And walk your hands underneath you as far as you can go so that you fold forward. Coming back through the center. We're going to walk our hands back toward the front, stepping back into our plank, hugging our elbows into our sides, chaturanga. Inhale, lifting your chest, upward dog. Exhale, pressing back, downward dog. And bend your knees and look to the front of your mat and step or hop to bring your feet between your hands. Straightening through your legs for forward fold.
Inhale, halfway lift to lengthen your spine. Exhale, find the depth of your forward fold. And wherever you grabbed along your legs, see if you can keep that connection. You're going to bend through your knees, drop your hips to the mat, and then extend your legs up toward the ceiling for both of those. Find your balance here and then release your hands. And if you're here, this is okay too, wherever you're at. Here, find your balance, lifting your chest, looking up toward the ceiling. Lower down into a low boat, drawing in your lower abs. And tuck your knees into your chest. Rock side to side, massaging through your lower back. Straightening to the left leg, keep your right knee tucked into your chest. We're going to open up through our knee by drawing circles on the ceiling just on the right side. So keep your left shoulder on the mat. Tuck that right knee back into your chest. We're going to pull it over to the left side so that we twist all the way through our core, this time keeping the right shoulder on the mat. We'll twist and look over the right shoulder. Open the right knee over to the right side. If you have a little bit more flexibility or want to push it a little bit farther, try straightening to the right leg. You can reach out with the left arm. Again, left shoulder is going to stay on the mat as you look up toward the ceiling. Then pull that right leg back in toward the center. Now you're squaring off your hips here, creating some length through our hamstring. Try walking your hands up your leg, reaching toward your foot and pulling your shin toward your nose. Then bend through the right knee. You're going to lift your left leg and place your right knee on top of your left thigh, and then pull that in toward your chest. And just gently rock side to side for figure four. Maybe even press your right knee out and away from you so you open up through your hip. Okay. Then keep that connection and drop both of those knees over to the left side. But keep your right shoulder on the mat. You can even press that knee, that top knee down a little bit more if you have any more room to stretch a little bit deeper. All right, go ahead and release. Tuck your knees into your chest. Rock it out side to side. Let's switch sides. Straightening through the right leg. Left knee is tucked in. We're going to begin by opening up that left knee and just drawing circles in the ceiling with just the left knee, but keeping our right shoulder on the mat. Make those circles in reverse. Big circles here, opening up through our hip. Come back through the center and then pull that left knee over to the right side. So we're twisting all the way through our core here, looking over the left shoulder, reaching out with our left arm. Opening that left knee out to the left side, so we're opening up through our hip. If you've got more flexibility, maybe try straightening to the left leg. Right shoulder stays on the mat.
your nose, finding some space here. Then bend through your left knee. Place your left shin on top of your right thigh, and then hug that right knee into your chest, just rocking gently side to side. Stretching through our glutes and our IT band here. You can press your left hand against the inside of your left thigh to open up through your hip a little bit deeper. Good. Keep that connection with that ankle on top of your knee. We're going to drop both knees over to the right side by keeping your left shoulder on the mat. You can even use your right hand to press your left knee a little bit closer toward the ground. Coming back through the center, tuck both knees into your chest, drawing circles on the ceiling with your knees. This time, as you draw your knees away from you, think of pulling so that you lift your chest a little bit. So we're making these really big circles that are also going to open up through our spine. Really pull, sort of lift your chest, tuck your knees in out the sides, pull and lift. And take a moment to pause there, rounding through your spine, and just kind of rock gently forward and back. Pull yourself all the way up to a seat. Straighten through your legs. Inhale, reach your arms up. Exhale, fold forward. And then release. We're going to bend through our knees to roll back onto our mat. Inhale, reaching our arms all the way up toward the ceiling. Tuck your heels in toward your hips and just drop your knees side to side for windshield wipers. Reach your arms a little bit higher overhead. Take the right hand, grab your left wrist, just pull it over to the right side. Find a little more space here as you drop your knees side to side. Then switching sides, take your left hand, grab your right wrist and pull it over toward the left side. And again, see if you can find a little more space as you lengthen to that right side. Coming back through the center. We're going to pull our heels toward our hips, bring our arms along our sides. And on the inhale, lift our hips up into a low bridge. Maybe interlacing your fingers underneath you as you lift your hips. And if you need a little more support, you can put your hands on your lower back here. So that would be another option. Opening up through our spine, find some space here. And then lower back down, tuck your knees into your chest, curl yourself into a little ball. Let's press back up into another bridge. You can go right back where you were, or you can press up into your full wheel, placing your hands under your shoulders. On the inhale, lifting your hips. Maybe walking your hands toward your feet. And then lowering all the way back down. One more time, tuck your knees into your chest. Just rock it gently side to side. This time grab the outside edges of your feet for happy baby. Side to side. Maybe try rocking forward and back a few times. And straighten through your legs. Bring your arms along your sides. We'll shift our weight to lift our hips, bringing our hands to our lower back, coming into a shoulder stand. Slowly dropping your toes all the way overhead, coming into plow. Maybe try interlacing your fingers behind you, straightening your arms. Totally optional. You can keep your hands at your lower back. And then bend to your knees to bring your knees toward your ears for ear pressure pose. Release your hands, reach for your heels, pull yourself a little bit deeper if you have any more space. And slowly, gradually rock all the way down onto your mat. Placing your feet on the mat will straighten out through our entire body. Again, reaching our arms all the way up toward the ceiling. Give yourself one last deep inhale. Find as much length and space through your spine as you can. And on your exhale, allow your arms to come out to the sides. Let your feet fall out to the sides, releasing tension from your body. Making any last minute adjustments that you need to so that you can find a place to rest in your Shavasana for a few minutes here. So closing our eyes, clearing our minds, feeling heavy in our bodies as we melt into our mat and resting in Shavasana. Beginning to awaken from your Shavasana, you can wiggle your fingers and toes, opening your eyes, gently tucking your knees into your chest, taking a moment to roll to your right side and just take a moment to rest on the right. Making your way back up to a seat on your mat. Sit in a simple cross-legged position. Half lotus or full lotus, depending on your preference. Allowing the back of your wrists to rest on your knees, sitting up straight and tall. Let's take one last deep inhale from here, reaching our arms all the way up toward the ceiling, really reaching, lengthening through our spine. And on the exhale, pressing our palms to heart center, expressing gratitude for this opportunity to practice together, moving freely in our bodies. Thank you so much for joining me. It was my honor and privilege to guide you in your practice. Namaste.